Yeah, it's CC, CEO. Wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black owned.
Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. What's up? It's your girl, Constance Carter, and this is the Grow Your Money Club, where we talk about, how to grow your money and not blow your money. Because if you blow your money, ain't a damn thing funny. What's up, everybody? Come on in. Welcome in, my friends. You know what it is. You know it's Constance Carter, and you know that this is a dialogue and not a monologue. What's up, Felicia? Felicia. Hey, Felicia. From Baltimore, Miss Tamisha from Denver, the Mile High City. I see you, Sophia, from Stockton, California. What's happening? So listen, if you're new here, what up, Cut and Dro? If you're new here, don't forget, this is a dialogue and not a monologue. So I need you to talk back to me, talk black to me. I love to engage in highly intellectually stimulating conversation with people. So I need you to comment because that's how this works. I need to know that you're in the building. I need to know where you're watching from. I need to know if this is your first time watching, all of the things. So put in the comments where you're watching from. That's the first thing. Second thing is, if you are a Black-owned business, I'll never be remiss to shout out Black-owned businesses because this is an important element. What's up, Kendro? This is an important element for our communities. If you are a Black-owned business or you know a Black-owned business, please put it in the comments. And don't just put your Black-owned business in the comments. Put where they can reach you, what exactly you do. If you have a website, you should have a website. If you don't have a website, holla at me. I can help you get a website. If you have a website, if you have a phone number, put all of that stuff in the comments because we want to be able to contact you. I don't want to just know and recognize that you have a Black-owned business. Yay, that's all good. But nobody gets a prize, a trophy just for having a Black-owned business. We want to be able to do business with you because we want to create sustainable businesses in our community. So if you have a Black-owned business or you know of a Black-owned business, put it in the comments. And then we're going to highlight it here on the show because it's important. It's important that we support each other. Okay. So today we're going to talk about imposter syndrome. Somebody asked me, I was talking to a friend the other day and she was talking about how just being in different places and spaces, how she sometimes does not feel like she's worthy to be there, even though she has all the credentials and even though she has all the qualifications. And I don't know about you, but I don't know if you've ever looked in a room and looked around and thought, what am I doing here? I got all these degrees. I got the receipts. I got the grind, the hustle, the growth. And still, there's a little voice that whispers that maybe you're not ready, or maybe you're not enough, or maybe you're not worthy. I don't know if any of you have ever felt like that. Put in the comments if any of you have ever felt like, I know I work hard, but I don't know if I'm really worthy to be here. Like, what am I doing here around all these important people? That voice that you have telling you that's not the truth. That's what's called imposter syndrome. You know that you are worthy to be where you are. You know that you deserve and you've worked very hard to get what you have. And so all those little doubts, all those little lingering doubts, we're going to call it out today. Okay. So we're going to unpack why so many brilliant, beautiful people like you yourself is battling with this self-doubt in rooms where you've earned the right to be in. All right, so stay tuned. We're going to break down what imposter syndrome comes from, how it shows up in your money, your mindset, in your leadership, and most importantly, how to shut that shit all the way down because you are not a fraud. You ain't lucky. You are anointed and you are deserving to be in every single room that you're in. All right, and most importantly, you ready, right? You stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So let's get it popping. I talk to people all the time. I was asking some of the ladies in Net 7 if they've ever had imposter syndrome, right? And so one of the ladies who's a doctor, she sent this to me. She couldn't be on. She really wanted to be on. Her name is Dr. Deborah. And so she says, to be honest, I'm still in the process of coming out of imposter syndrome. She said, for years, I carried this quiet feeling that I wasn't enough or I had to overperform to be taken seriously. Even with degrees, she's a doctor. Even with degrees, credentials, lived experiences, I still question if I really belong in the rooms I was in. And the truth is, it's been a long journey, but I'm finally beginning to believe in the power of my voice, not just my work. This isn't from someone who's figured it all out, it's someone who's fighting her way free and reclaiming her space in the process. Then she said, I wish I could be there. She's at a doctor's appointment. I wish she could be there too, because just like so many people, she speaks the voice of a lot of different people who are feeling the same way, of having these self-doubts or these little things in their heads. So I definitely want to have a conversation with a couple of people. You feel that way? There are people. So I see Sophia says she's felt this way before. James said he's also felt this way before. um, Tamisha said, I felt like this sometimes. I've started to dismiss it and say daily affirmations out loud. I love it. Love you, JR. You said hands. That means, yeah, that means you raising your hand. All right. So I want to talk to some people and just kind of get their perspective on this whole idea of imposter syndrome. So first, I want to bring out my good girlfriend. What's up, Jahari?
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How is everyone?
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm normally behind the scenes, but
Yeah, cool. So, y'all, I got somebody else. I got somebody else. You haven't seen her in a long time. I know y'all miss her. Y'all want to see who I got? Y'all want to see who I got? Hold on. Wait. Where is it? Where is it? Hey!
Hey. Hey everybody, good morning.
What's up, Miss Black Hollywood? Where you been?
What up though? Hey everybody. I've been working hard, Constance. I've been working
Yeah.
hard. I'm in New Orleans right now trying to just click reset on my mind and spirit before I go back to LA and do all of the things. So
What
I'm
you
so
been doing?
excited to see y'all. I
I
miss you
know.
all.
I
I'm so glad to be here.
know. What you been doing in New Orleans?
Um, you know, I'm just at home
That's where
chilling.
you're from, right?
Yeah, I grew up here. I have roots in New Orleans.
Mhm.
My mother's from Pennsylvania. I grew up in Pennsylvania and I moved to Louisiana as a teenager and then I moved
Okay.
to Los Angeles. So
Okay.
I am here being a tourist in my city. I'm so excited. I went to Essence on accident.
I saw that.
Um
Oh, you went to, oh,
oh,
I want to go to Essence on accident.
Well, what I mean is, I just so happened to be here when Essence was happening. I said I just was coming down to spend a few weeks to reset, but yeah, I was feeling that we had just finished the video shoot and all of the things, and I was like, I am tired. Let me just go and live life slow for a little bit and go back to the country and just chill out. And so that's
I
what I'm
love
doing.
that. I love that.
Hmm.
Well, I
I
need to
do
ask
too.
Miss Black Hollywood. You've been working because she hasn't been with me. She ain't been rolling with me because she's been working on her project, which I'm
Hmm.
really excited about. So before we get into the conversation, tell us about your project. You about to come out with your own little, not little,
Not
your
little.
album. Talk about it.
Yeah, I'm about to
Okay.
release an album called The Love Hangover. It's just Love
Yes.
Hangover, not The Love Hangover. But for the last few years, I'm so glad I'm having this conversation because for the last 20 years of my life, I probably wanted to make an album and felt like I've been around everybody that I could possibly be around. And I kept asking myself, can I operate from this level though? My very best friend is Trinice, who was on the second season of American Idol. She's on the road right now. She's traveling around the world singing. And I was like, but can I do that though? But can I do that? Am I good enough for that though? And then one day I just decided, like I was gonna make music for me no matter what. And so boom, we got an album coming out. So after that, I went and I did some things. So we'll talk about like what was done and kind of what I did to get myself out of the place of feeling like an imposter. But we have an album coming out, baby.
When is the album coming out?
That's a good question. So I want to submit the album to the Grammys. So that means that it has to be released before it can actually be submitted. And submission date is August 31st. So
Oh,
sometime before then.
okay. Somebody asked if you had any sample music.
It's
Can
on.
I come back? Yeah, so put I'm all of that. I promise. Soon. I promise. It's gonna be like a Beyonce drop. Bow bow.
Hey,
I'm
hey, all right. Can
ready to stop the world. Ready to stop the
can we
world.
get the exclusive?
World stop.
Yeah.
We
It's gonna
want
be
the
like a
Oh, can we
exclusive.
Beyonce.
get an exclusive?
Yeah,
Woohoo.
yeah, we want the exclusive.
I'm gonna give y'all. You know what? I'm gonna come back when we drop. I'm gonna come back and then we gonna play music. We gonna sing some songs. All of that. It's gonna be
All
good.
right, bet. So
Hey,
when did
yeah.
you realize, while you're talking about it, when did you realize that you had imposter syndrome?
Mm, um, I Yeah, probably when I was able to compare it to something. I think imposter syndrome you only have to be able to compare yourself, I think, to other people that are around you before you can say like, wait a minute, can I do that though? I
Mm,
would say that. Like it's a little bit of that, like looking around and seeing all these people. Like I said, I was on the road with Avant and sitting in studios with Neo and Kelly Price, and my
Wow.
20s was lit. And I think it was really God saying, no, 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 all you got to do is develop the thing, like develop the thing. Yeah, you're not going to start out like all of these different people, but I have you here for a reason, for you to be able to see it.
mm,
And I just couldn't accept it.
you couldn't accept it.
Wow.
I couldn't
Oh,
believe it. I sat, actually, y'all, I was classically trained first. So like I can sing opera. Black girls learn to sing, you know what I mean? Like just, and I remember I was 20 years old, and my instructor said, Tiara, if you wanted to travel around the world and sing opera music, you can. And I could not believe him, y'all. I couldn't believe it. Little
why?
black girl I just couldn't believe it for whatever reason. Even though I was confident though in other things. It was just like for that particular thing, I just couldn't believe it.
Girl, I didn't know you had pipes like that. I didn't know you
I
was
can't
a
wait to
singer
hear.
singer.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
ready. I'm
classically
excited to hear
trained.
it.
Girl,
Wow.
well, we ain't got no warm up on the classical. Y'all could listen. I'm not gonna come in here singing opera music off the cuff. That's not what we're gonna do. But
That ain't
I promise you that one day we will. We'll come back and do it.
okay.
I promise.
Okay. Jahari, for you, have you had imposter syndrome? And if you did, when did you realize that you had that?
um, I didn't really know what imposter syndrome was at first, right? So then I
Mm,
hear a lot of people talking about it, and I'm like, oh, that applies to me because, I'm in rooms with amazing people, and I'm always like, why am I even here? Or I'm gonna just stay in the back, stay out the way because these people are great and these people are amazing. But like Miss Black Hollywood was saying, being around different people and being invited into spaces, then you start to relax a little, right? Like, I'm here for a reason. Speaking that to myself, so that I've been doing a lot of affirmations, and just, I don't know, I got to a point where it's just like, these are the things I want to do, these are things that have been on my heart, so I'm going to do them. Whether they're accepted or not is not the purpose of it, right? Just because I think that that's what imposter syndrome is. You don't feel really accepted in spaces, you feel like you're not worthy. But once I start just doing things that I want to do without needing someone's approval, um, acceptance, a pat on the back, just when I start patting myself on the back, accepting myself, like, just do it. That's what you want to do. You're not doing it for, everyone else. It's a goal or something that's inside of you. So just take those chances, and taking those chances, putting your creativity out there, that's huge. Like, I have a lot of questions because I want to know, when you put out a new album, when you put out new things, like, do people, am I the only one who goes through that? Oh, I should not have done that. Let me pull that back. Let me, let me not say anything else. Oh, I hope no one heard what I, my idea, all of those things, just it is still a thing. Like I'm not I still wake up and I'm like, ooh, what are they thinking?
But
Their opinions.
so now, like Dr. Deborah is 70 years old, and I often wondered, is imposter syndrome something that, like, because I talk to like my daughter and my son, because I think when before your prefrontal cortex is developed, and kind of when you're in your 20s, like my daughter was like, I'm starting to feel like I belong. She's 26 now. I'm starting to feel like I belong. And so, when you're in 20, I remember being very insecure in my 20s. And in my 30s, I started feeling a little bit more secure. In my 40s, I knew what I wanted. I'm almost in my 50s. I know I ain't gonna give a fuck. But, and I didn't say the whole word, but I said fuck. But, a lot of times we feel like, that insecurity, does that come from a place of being immature, or is it maybe your parents didn't tell? Because I know I tell my kids all the time, but they still, had imposter syndrome. Do you think that stems from like childhood, maybe not feeling like you were enough, or maybe somebody not encouraging you guys? Like, where does that come from?
I don't I don't even think it's insecurity because I don't feel like I'm insecure. I feel like um it's feeling if you're going to be accepted in certain spaces, right? Like I don't feel insecure. I just feel nervous and um about my work or my gifts or my
Mm,
talents, right? Just like nervous if they're going to be accepted, not really insecure, right? I feel like I can do things, but are people going to accept them? So it might come from maybe being bullied or being told you are too much or not enough. Um, so those type of things, but I don't feel like I don't know. Insecure for me it feels like where you want to just not be in places. Like I like to be in these spaces, but I don't know if others are accepting me in the spaces. That's the fear. Right.
okay.
So I'm not too insecure to go to these spaces or too insecure to do these things. Maybe I'm hesitant to share them. I'm sensitive about my shit. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
Whether it's something creative or just business spaces, being in corporate worlds, right? Like, um, I've never been afraid to speak up, but then I've been dismissed. Like yeah, yeah, and then later your idea is implemented. But it's a whole nother jam.
Yeah. So what about
Yeah.
you, Tiara? Do you think that it stemmed, like Tamisha said, it maybe still stem from childhood trauma?
Absolutely. I definitely think, the funny thing, and it's only around this thing. Like I had to fight a lot of demons because I had an experience that happened to me that I always share when I was learning how to belt again, or learning how to sing, and just trying to figure it out in my voice. I had come home from a choir rehearsal, and I walked in the house and there was nobody in the house, so I thought. And so I was in there like, and just yelling and screaming, right? And somebody came downstairs and was like, shut the fuck up, you can't sing. And I was 14 years old. And so after that I started to go, and you know
Oh,
what I mean? And so I really, I felt like it really, like, depending on, I read this just recently, like, that it kind of blocks your chakra. So even though I didn't stop singing, it would just be like, if I got into situations where people be like, oh, sing us a song, I'd be like, immediately my body would do a thing, and then I would tense up. And so it was, so many times, y'all, like, and I still like ran towards it, even though it was like scary. So
yeah,
anyway, long story, fast forward, me getting to me turning, what, 37, saying like, I absolutely have to sing, like I gotta do it. I can't be scared anymore. I gotta stop floating around it. I threw myself into a music, I went to music school. And so, because I felt like an imposter, like, are you even still an artist in this way? You ain't
yeah,
really sang songs since you were like 21. Can you still, you ain't sang opera since this age. You're not an artist anymore in this way. And so, to combat that, I went to music school and start writing music, and now we have an album. So I think a part of that is like, you just gotta either way it goes, like,
Just
because God
do
kept
it.
bringing it back. If God didn't
Yeah.
keep saying like, "Well, what about music though?" I'd be like,
But
I
Mm,
can
would
I
have just,
ask you
but
a
I'm
I'd have
doing
just
question?
kept,
this. But I'm
huh?
Can
doing
I ask you
that.
a question?
Yeah, but I'm
Do you
producing.
feel like you need to have the credentials behind you to do certain things? Because my daughter, who's only 15, she's a great painter, artist, right?
Mhm.
She d- she's very creative, and I'm like, "Ooh, let's do this, let's do that," and she's like, "My art, I'm not ready to share,"
Mm,
right? And at first, I used to be like, "Well, that's crazy. It's great," but then I understand she's sensitive about that, and
mm,
she's still building her confidence just within herself, right?
mm,
And so I don't push, because as soon it's still developing. So if I were to say, "Ooh, I don't like that one," or if someone were to say that, or "Why did you do that?" then that probably would, you know. But do you feel like you need a credential, or you had to go to school to get that, to be validated? Because I went through that just in June, like, "Oh, I need to finish this and do that just so I can be accepted."
For music, yes. For everything else, no. I feel like I'm a beast. Anywhere else, I'm a creative genius. On any given day, I can do
Come
anything
on.
creative and
Uh-huh.
soar. And my clients confirm that for me. And I've been that way for a very long time. So when I turned 18, I was like, I want to work for the source. I want to be a writer for the source. So what did I do? I harassed the source for an entire year, my freshman year of college. And then
Come
in the
on.
spring, they called me. I used to send chocolates, all types of stuff, right? And finally, they called me and was like, "Hey, we want to offer you an internship." I was like, "Can you be in New York on Monday?" I was like, "Yes." I got off the phone. I was like, "I don't know anybody from New York." Oh my God, like I've always, you know,
That's where
I met
Lauren got that from.
yeah,
That is where she got that from.
yes,
Are you
right.
kidding
So
me?
yeah, it don't matter, right? Like I met Master P one when I was here in the city, and he was like, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm an actress." And he was like, "Do you go to LA?" I said, "Yes." I had never been to LA before. He was like, "Do you go to LA? Do you go to LA?" "Yes." "When the next time it will be there?" "In June." What did I do that June? I went to LA. I
I know
just
that's
don't.
right.
I've never had that part of it, but it's just when it comes to that thing, and I only think that's because of that trauma, like that.
Mhm.
That So
I'm glad
I
that
get
you
it.
recognize that. I think that's dope that you're able to pinpoint where that came from because I think
mm,
it does stem from some sort of trauma.
mhm,
Fortunately for me, I had parents who were very encouraging. My dad told me I was going to be the president. My mama told me I could do anything. But also, like, the reason why I talk so fast and I have to slow myself down is because they used to be like, "Girl, you long-winded. You taking too long. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry. You got to the host." So I talk really fast because I want to make sure that people are listening to me and that I'm not wasting people's time. So that's always just been my thing. Just let me get out as quick as possible. So that's
mm,
been a thing for me, right? And so, but being, someone who is like really into success,
mhm,
sometimes I feel like my success is not enough, right? Because we're
mm,
always looking for that next thing. So I could accomplish all these things, and sometimes, and I'm bad about this, and I encourage other people to do it, but I don't always necessarily do it. I don't always celebrate those small things because I don't feel like it's enough.
yep,
So do you guys find yourselves in even your successes, even in your wins, saying that it's not enough?
yes,
Oh my gosh,
absolutely,
constantly,
yeah,
constantly. And not wanting to share with people the wins, right? Just like, I don't even know if I was considering wins, right? Just like, "Oh, I'm moving. I'm just doing what I have to do, or what I need to do, or what I feel like doing, right?" And then other people like, "Oh, you did that," like, or if they heard about something, then I'm like, "Oh yeah," but not even wanting to share the wins with anyone, not even sharing them with myself, just on to the next.
mhm,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I
What about,
agree.
what about you?
I mean, because we live life so fast, y'all. It's like I'm here, and then next month I'll be at A, B, and C with Constance on a, you know what I mean. And then we just was somewhere in May, and then I think life is just happening so fast. We're doing these things from day to day, that you just kind of get caught up in. I do. I definitely feel like I'm winning. I feel like I'm in a winning season. I feel like I win.
I
Like we
love
win,
Come
that for
on.
you. I
right?
love that. I freaking
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, so you just said, like, I feel like I'm always winning, and it's weird. I have more winning days than not. And so sometimes when you can get accustomed to winning and whatever that means for you, right? For me, it just means like I get to wake up and be creative every single day.
Isn't that
Y'all, I
beautiful?
don't drive Uber. I
Yeah.
ain't like doing, I'm not faking with you all. Like I get off and be like, okay, now, you know what I'm saying? Like I really get to, you know what I mean? I really get to live this life that I'm talking about. And so I just had to like sit down and just be like, I really just funded my whole, with the help of others. Thank God. Praise God. Y'all help me out. But I had to, for the most part, fund an entire like music situation. And I was like, I couldn't have done that 10 years ago. So you're
Yeah.
winning, you know?
Yeah, man. One thing that you said, Jahari, about like not even wanting to tell people sometimes. I know one thing, and this may be I don't know, but this makes me cringe.
Hmm.
When people compliment me or testimonials. I can't, like, I have so many people giving me testimonials or complimenting it, just I can't do it. I try to glaze over it, and I was telling my daughter one time, doesn't that make you cringe when people get, she's like, girl, no, I love it. I love that for you, sweetheart. I love that you love that. That makes me very uncomfortable, extremely uncomfortable. So I don't even know
Mm.
if that's part of that, but that is just like, so even when I'm trying to, like, you got to put testimonials up, when you do stuff, and it's like, I don't want to go there. Any of you guys feel like that? Or
Well,
you guys
why,
know?
why,
Well, no,
why do
like
you
let's
feel
no,
that
don't
way?
throw it off on us.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
throw it
Why do you feel that way? Because if you give a testimonial about Tiara, are you feeling like she doesn't deserve that?
No,
That those accolades. So
absolutely.
then, why, when someone
It just
says
makes
those
me
things to
uncomfortable.
you?
It
it
just
just
makes me
feel
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable. You just feel
Mm.
uncomfortable, and you're
And I
so.
cringe. And
I
I
was
don't
just
like to
about to
listen
go
to it.
into pray. Listen, I was just about to go into all the things that I feel like even having you in my life this last year, but I know you'd have been embarrassed, so I ain't want to. I ain't want to do that to
Well,
you.
I'm ready to do that
I
because
know, but I do. I think Constance is such a beast, and I think that I'm about to embarrass her real quick just because she said she doesn't like it. I do wonder though. I just think you're one of the smartest women that I know. There's like not a lot of
ever.
things you don't know, and what you'll find out. And so I just think that I understand like not feeling like or not wanting to glow. I don't know, but you just
It's
gotta
weird. I hate
receive.
it. I
Just receive.
hate it.
So I remember the
You're the
first
bomb. You're
time
the
I
best.
met
You're the
you.
bomb. You're the
It's
best.
Right.
very uncomfortable.
Well,
I
the first
I
time
grind
I
my
met
teeth.
Constance, do you
Huh?
remember the first time I met you was at Catalyst in Stockton on Pacific, and all these women were standing up and they were like, "Oh my gosh, when I saw you spoke and all these, and then your book and I, stood up and I was like, I have not heard you speak before. I want to get my real estate license. I asked a friend
You were
for
there
a
for real
referral.
estate school. You were in real estate
Yes,
school.
and someone gave
I guess
me
they were
your
saying
number.
they were saying why they were doing the real estate school, right?
Right. And I was like, I just, I felt like, oh my gosh, I didn't know Constance,
Oh
right?
no,
I
me too.
didn't know who she was. And all I'm telling you, it was so many women standing up just like, oh my gosh, you're so amazing. And I was just like,
Mhm.
oh gosh, I felt like, and then it was my turn and I have no concept, no reference. And I was just like, ooh, I'm here to get my real estate license. And then fast forward to getting my real estate license and working with you, right? And even today, like just seeing how you move, like just and watching the comeback, that's a whole nother story because you stepped away and then the comeback, like I second all those things that those women said, right? Like because your passion, your drive, and I always wonder, like you don't, I mean, you don't ever stop. Like you don't. I know you stopped for a minute, but you still never stopped encouraging and moving, and I that is motivation for me. So like Tierra said, being in that space, it's helping me to come out of imposter syndrome. You don't feel those things?
I mean, I'm grateful. I'm not. I love what I do, and I love the impact. I love the way watching other people being successful makes me feel. I love that. But when the light is, and I love celebrating other people. So I don't
Hmm.
know. Nobody else feels this way.
Wait, wait,
But
wait,
when the
wait,
light is
wait,
shining
wait,
back on you, it's just
wait,
like,
wait. I asked ChatGPT. I said my friend hates to receive praise
Uh-oh.
or
Come
Uh-oh.
and
on.
here you want
Now I'm starting to get stressed out.
so it says that you either have discomfort with attention, you just might feel awkward being the center of
It's
attention, even if it's
not that.
positive. Maybe
It's not that.
compliments make them feel exposed or under a spotlight. It says self-esteem or self-worth issues, which I don't think this is it, but
It's
it
not
says
that.
that you may feel like you don't deserve the praise or it's untrue. Fear of expectations. Compliments can feel like pressure to keep performing at a high level. I don't think you feel that. They might worry that praise sets a bar that they now have to like keep meeting and moving the goalposts. I don't know about that.
That's not that
Suspicion
either.
or distrust. If you somehow, if they've been manipulated before, they might view
Mhm.
compliments as a setup. You know,
Mhm.
they might be out to get you, or they simply just don't know how to accept them or receive them. They may have been taught how they may not have been taught how to accept praise graciously. It could make them feel socially awkward or unsure of how to respond. Maybe it's that. I think
I
it's
think it's
number
that.
6.
Maybe
It's
that.
The
number
last
Maybe that.
one.
6.
But then said something about the spotlight too. What did it say about the spotlight?
All right. It said they might feel awkward being the center of attention, even if it's positive.
So
Compliments can make them feel exposed under a spotlight.
that right there too. So I don't mind being the center of attention because I can get up, I can talk, I can do all that stuff. I love to talk, love fun, have fun, and be funny and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But that spotlight thing being also because when I play the bass, and
Yeah.
when I used to play, I was really good, and people would like be focused on me, and I'd be like, I want to go in the closet right now and go behind here. I don't want everybody to look at me. Like I just that spotlight being on. So I could be the center of attention, but then I don't know. It's weird. I don't
Is
know.
your introvert? Is it the introvert in you?
Must be.
Probably.
That's
Must
it. I
be.
mean,
It must be. And you guys don't really understand the people who are listening. Y'all think so because understand, I know how to do lights, camera, action really well. So when it's lights, camera, action, it's like and go. And then when the lights, camera, action are off, it's like
It takes some
so
time.
when most people meet me in person, they have no idea. They're just like they think I'm this little quiet girl over here in the corner a lot of times, unless you know me, unless we're picking it. But like most people, like if they meet me and then they're like, this guy was just saying that the other day. He was like, well, I met you at this thing. You was the quietest thing there. Then I came on, I saw you online, and I seen all the stuff you was doing. You blew me away because I don't do that. So this is lights, camera, action. I know how to do that. When I go on stage, I know how to electrify the stage. But when I go off the stage, I want to go and hide. I want to go and
Right.
hibernate afterwards. Like I don't want to talk to people. I just want to go. So
it's a
it is that introvert.
performance. It's a
Yeah.
performance. And there's a lot of performers that are just like that, Constance. That's not, I mean, a lot of the world's most talented artists and singers, Beyonce's an introvert, right? But when
Hmm.
she get on stage, she's not, right? She's shy and quiet before that. So I just think that's okay. And
Yeah.
even when people say, like, tell her, I notice, I don't know if this is real, but when people tell her she's amazing, like, it looks like she'd be like, okay, you know what I mean? Still, and she's
She's
Beyonce. So
Beyonce.
I
Right.
don't know.
Right.
I think
Well,
it's regular for people who have because I can talk, I can go, I'm not embarrassed, I'm not ashamed to be in certain spaces. But then there are times after those spaces or after you do those things, you gotta step back, right? Because it does take a lot out of me. And so, and like as you were saying about Beyonce, sometimes it is hard to believe that people are receiving you, your authentic self, right? So you're being authentic. Both of you ladies are always being authentic in who you are, right? Like I can be in LA in June, right? And then going, right? That's just who you are, right? And I think as kids it's always been that way, right? Because I didn't have any fear. Like, oh, I'll do it. I'll go. If no one else, I'll jump on. I rather be in in the background. You know what I mean? But if you need, I'll do that. But it does take so much out of you, and people think that it's easy. It is easy because that's who you are. But then you need that withdrawal to replenish and to remind yourself that that's not all you are, right? And so
but
I know that.
that's the difference of being an introvert and an extrovert because an introvert, when they're out and they're doing And like if like when you're introverted like me, and Tiara's not an introvert, but I'm an introvert. So I have to pull my energy from within. So if I'm talking and I love doing it, that's why I have to go hibernate. That's why I have to, because when I'm around too many people, it sucks the entire energy out of me. People who are extroverted, they get their energy from the other people. So like Lisa Nichols, I used to travel all over the world with her. And when she would get done doing her thing, this lady is a freaking vampire. I'm like, take your ass to bed. Like she is so on fire, and you know, because she gets her energy from the people, and she just that's just how she was. So that's how I see extroverts as being, you know, just more those people who are just out there doing it, and they're getting their energy from the people, and it's hard for them to come down after they've had that high. For me, I remember one time she came to, I invited her to Stockton, and I had this big event. You remember? Were you there, Jari, when Lisa and Dr.
I don't
Frazier and all
think
them?
so.
Okay, so brought them to Stockton. We had this big event, and I stayed at the hotel. And after that mug was over, I remember people was coming up to me afterwards, like crying. I was like, I don't do that. Lisa over there with a bunch of people. I'm going to stay. I'm not. And she's the one that want to pour into you afterwards and all that. So I go to the room, and they out there fraternizing in the hall, and the people at the hotel is getting mad because she got about 40, 50 people just gathered around her. And they was calling me, was like, they gonna call the police. I was like, y'all deal with it. I'm in the room sleep. I am knocked out. I don't got nothing. Like, I got nothing for you. I have nothing. I can't be out there. I don't want to do it. I'm done. Her ass was up.
She's still moving on that adrenaline.
Yeah,
right?
She got that.
And then once you come down from that adrenaline, then she'll probably take a couple days. I don't.
She just gets that.
That's but see that adrenaline, I think that's the same with Beyonce, because she always says stuff like, if y'all know when y'all hype me up, then that makes her go harder, right? Like in those moments, right? But yeah, so that I do agree with you. That is the difference, because in the moment, like, I'm okay, let's go. Like if I told you, I always tell you, if you're like, let's do it. Okay, let's go. I'm that girl. Let's go. Let's get it and handle it. And then it's gonna take a minute for me to calm down. And then you might not see me for a minute.
Let me ask you this, because we are all big personalities, and we do, you know, we have a presence when we go into these different rooms. Have you ever been in a space, Tiara, where you felt like you've had to dim your light? Or have you been in a place where a person made you feel like you had to be smaller than what you are?
I'm sure. You know, it's so funny that regardless of if I'm quiet or loud, I think that I read something last night, y'all, and this is kind of just like kind of how I've been perceiving it. I think that whenever you are somewhere, you're gonna meet whoever you're supposed to meet. So you don't have to be the loudest person in the room. You can just meet the person in the corner and it'd be good, right? But one of the things that I've learned is, like, walking into a room, I understand my power and I understand what I bring to the room. And so I don't have to be the loudest. I don't have to. So if I walk out and it's not, you know, if I'm not I just make sure that whoever is supposed to know me in that room knows who I am. I guess that's the best way to say it. But I read something last night that was just basically like, when you walk into the room, let God walk into the room with you. Understand that, like, you come from God is in us, right? And so that means that if depending on what y'all believe, he created the heavens and earth. Look around at, like, the creator, what the creatives created, and we are kind of that, like, we are his children made in his likeness, right? That means that you can go into any room and just, like, have that soft and subtle. It doesn't have to be loud, and God's going to direct you. You know what I mean? So I just think that as long as you're moving and you can separate just you from, like, and you and God walking into a room, if that makes sense. And kind of having, like, that divine inside of you saying, like, I just think that when all else fails, if you can just really connect yourself to God and that divine energy, I think you'll be fine, if that makes sense.
Let me tell you, and I'm glad that you said that, because I think this is the reason why I don't have imposter syndrome, is because when I was 7 years old, my auntie Rosie Mae Jenkins, I told you this story.
Rosie Mae, shout
Rosie
out.
Mae Jenkins, that's my auntie Rosie. She, I was 7 years old. She was my Sunday school teacher. She was also the first lady. I went to Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church. Everybody in that church was my relatives. It was about 40 of us. But one of the things she said to me in Sunday school was that she said that, like, You can have, do or be anything you want to because God loves you the same as he loves everybody else. So
Mhm.
whatever they have, you deserve it too. You can have it too. And I remember looking up to her and say, even the president of the United States, she said, even the president of the United States.
Aw, I
And
love that
from
story.
then on, at 7 years old, I believed that I could have every, God loves me the same as he loves everybody else. So if he loves me the same,
Mhm.
they're no better than me. So if they have it, why can't I have it? I've always felt that way. And it was because of that moment that I could say that really propelled me to believe that nothing was impossible. Like I'm
Mhm.
worthy of having everything. And so I don't feel, I've never felt that I was not supposed to be in a room. In fact, if somebody is up there getting an award for business, I'd be like, I should be up there getting that award for business. I wouldn't feel like, I wouldn't feel like, damn, if I got the award, I wouldn't feel like, dang, I'm not worthy. No, I work freaking hard. But I don't like all the attention that comes with it. But I want the trophy. You know what I'm saying? Like I got all these trophies from, being in real estate. At some point, because I would make masters every single year. At some point, I was just like, send me the motherfucking trophies. I don't even want to go to the award ceremony. Just send me the damn trophy. I don't like all the pomp and circumstance, but I do like the trophy. I like the recognition to say that, I did do well. So I
I
don't
got a
know.
question for you, Constance. Okay,
Mhm,
so around the time, because you got a PhD, right?
mhm, mhm,
You got a public high school diploma.
mhm.
Around the time, I always hear you say, "I went and I trained harder. I did
Mhm.
more." Was that an like? What
Possibly.
was that like? Feeling like I'm not enough. I don't have enough. So let me just train like crazy so I
Yeah.
can. But now you have more than. I mean, that's your PhD.
Well, yeah, that was the deficiency. So yeah, I felt like I didn't go to college. I didn't get those credentials. So I needed to invest in myself. So I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in personal and professional development. I've had coaches, mentors, trainers. I've gone to training. I've just poured extensively into myself. I've been in leadership development programs. I've done all of these things just trying to better myself because I knew that I did. And I thought that that was stuff that I would get in college when now that my kids went to college and my daughter learned more in 6 months working for me than she did with the $200,000 I paid for her to go to Hampton University. You know what I'm saying? So now I
Mhm.
understand that it's just a piece of paper, really, because that
Yeah.
experience really came with everything else. So yeah, for me, especially back then, it was like I don't have all these things, so I got to know. I got to get as much information as I can because I want to develop. I want to be a leader, and it's also part of how we do the strengths assessment inside the Net Seven
Mhm.
and also really understanding where your strengths are because even back then when I did the strengths assessment in 2013 I didn't realize like I saw and I was like okay but now that I look back at it 12, 13 years later I'm like yo I actually did all the things that it said on here based upon my strengths but that was because of all of the things that I had poured into myself but I didn't realize that this was actually really me and I was actually on the path to doing all the things that it said inside the assessment but anyway but I do feel like I did have a chip on my shoulder. There was this deficiency that I had because I don't have a degree, but I got a PhD. And so somebody asked me one day, Dr. Deborah, she said, I think you should get an honorary doctorate. And I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need no certificate. She was like, but you be the I said, there's a lot of people out here calling themselves doctors, but ain't doing shit. And I don't
Mhm.
want to be a honorary doctorate just for the sake of being so somebody can call me doctor. I don't know. I don't want to offend nobody because I know there's honorary doctorates out there, but I don't understand the point. Do you?
Some people just need to again, some people need that recognition. Some people they needed to feel a certain way. And I think that goes back to the conversation at hand, right? Just feeling like an honorary doctorate may help somebody through an imposter syndrome, like I haven't done enough, but by getting this title,
It's a
it'll
certificate.
validate whatever it is that is lacking inside of me. And I think it's an inside job. I mean, if we go back to imposter syndrome. It's an
I
inside
respect
job.
the title. I
There has
respect the
to be
titles. I don't.
a
I don't
belief.
need the title.
Just gotta believe it. Like believe that, I don't know if it's a worthiness issue, but I definitely think like you deserving to be in a room is just like you can affirm yourself until the cows come home. You could wake up and be like, I am enough, I am great, I am, but there's something you got to figure out how to believe it. Like
Right, right.
how do you really like believe what you're saying? Constance, what would you advise for someone
Yeah,
that maybe did not believe? Like how do
yeah.
you develop belief?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. And I think it
Mm.
is all of those things. I think it is the affirmations, it's the doing the work, it's the believing. So, for example, somebody who used to work for me, my assistant who had been with me for like 15, 16 years, she may be even watching this because she watches this all the time. She loves you, Miss Black Hollywood, by the way.
Hey
Uh,
girl, hey, I love you too. Love.
but she's out in Vegas and she worked for me about 15, 16 years. And one thing that I remember when she said to me, um, she had come home from it was a weekend, it was Monday, and she was just like, she was overweight, she was tired, and she had took her family, they went to Six Flags, and she was just tired. She was exhausted. She was like, I couldn't even go with my son on the rides because I just felt I was exhausted. And I just feel like I'm just gonna be sitting here on the bench, just sitting my life away, just watching everybody live life while I just sit here. God, she felt hopeless, she felt helpless. And I told her to do some affirmations and I gave her a few affirmations to do it. And the cool thing about her is she listened to me. Right. So even whether she believed it or not, she believed in everything I said. She believed in me. She was definitely very loyal and she believed in me. So I said, I want you to say these three things. And so I was like, you gonna do it? She was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna do it. So then we'll do it. Next day she come to work. How'd it go? She's like, I did it. I hated it. I didn't believe it, but I just did it anyway. And so she just kept doing it. I told her in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror. At night, look at yourself in the mirror and just keep saying it, keep saying it, keep saying it.
Mm.
And at some point, she didn't even realize when it clicked, but at some point it did click. And then she started to believe it. Because understand that life and death are in the power of the tongue, right? That is biblical. I always say, I have a shirt that says, speak life because your words are prophetic. The
That's right.
things that come out of your mouth into the universe, they mean something. And so they will trigger something in the atmosphere, in your spirit, in your mind, body, and your soul. So at some point, she started to believe it. And I remember we were on a phone call, we were on a call one day, and then she said something like, I know I look good. She was not very confident in herself. And she was like, she had to catch herself like, who is this person talking?
Mm.
And then as she started to feel good, then she started to make other changes. She started losing weight.
That's
She
it.
started, her health got better. Like she got rid of her diabetes. It was all of these things that happened just because she had that belief. But it started with the things that she said about herself. And whether she believed it or not, she continued until it became a part of her DNA.
Mm. You know,
That's that's what you do.
yeah, I love that. I love that. So so affirming first, saying the thing every day, coupled with some type of action. Would you
Oh,
would you also add some type of, because you're the executor, so would you add some type of action to that?
absolutely. Faith without works is dead, right? So
Ooh.
got to have some action with whatever it is that you do. You can't just be laying there like, I'm beautiful, Lord love me. And you ain't really doing nothing. But so,
Yeah.
you got to start pouring into yourself. The reason, one of the things I always say, especially like to the people that I train and coach, is that I understand that when uh, confidence comes from learning and education. And when you don't really understand and you don't know something, you can't really be confident in your craft. And so the more you know, the more confident that you become, and the more confident that you become, the more productive that you become. So if you read books, if you pour into yourself, if you learn as much as you can to expand your mind, then you get confident, right? And then you can get productive. So you got to not just the saying, but the execution part is what you're pouring, is the action, is what you're pouring into yourself.
Mm.
That's what I would say.
I love it.
What y'all think? What say ye?
I love that. I love it.
I agree. I do I journal daily. I do affirmations, um, even when it's hard to do them. And then I have to look at, I go back and read, what I wrote 6 months ago. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I did this. I already did that. I finished that. I just created a journal, um, for women to deal with, um, working, being the boss, being the CEO, being the employee, being the mother, being the sister, the friend, the daughter, and then releasing all those titles at at the end of the night and just being yourself. That is the only
Mm.
way to come out of imposter syndrome. You're not an
Mm.
imposter. You are you. This is you. This is what you want to do. Walk in that, step in that. This is who you are. This is what you are doing. Not even want to. I think oh, I want to do these things, I want to do that. No, I am doing these things. And then go back and just, you know, that's huge. And that is something I've been doing consistently for the past few years. I have journals from years ago, you know, because I love to write. I didn't, I all the poetry, all these things. And now I'm finally like looking at these things like, dang, you did that at 30. You did that at 25. You did that. You were ahead of time. Everything. And no lie, everything that you have set out to do, except for one, but I didn't really want to do that,
Well,
right?
then you didn't
You've
want.
done, right. And that's the thing. And so it's like that's the proof for me. So
Hmm.
then just checking the box, not for anyone else, but for myself, right? It's like, oh my gosh, you did do that. So now journaling, doing the affirmations, speaking life into myself, right? And then actually doing the things. Not, and sometimes, like you said, we're going so fast, you're doing these things. You guys are here and there and all and speaking and breathing life, and you don't even realize the inspiration and encouragement, empowerment that you are putting out there. But that is just who you are. So when you are authentically yourself, like singing regardless of who's around and who hears you at the
Oh, somebody
top
saying,
of
shut the
your
F
lungs.
up.
Exactly. Exactly. Even if they say that didn't help me, or I didn't receive anything from what you said when you spoke, Constance, you know, eventually they will, or, you know, there will come a time. And so that's why the accolades, hearing from other people, you know, and yourself though, I think that's big, because people can tell me all day every day, Constance is like, girl, you great, you doing this, like I see you, you know, I see you. And I'm just still like, I don't know. But then telling myself, no, wait a minute, you did that, and that was no easy thing to do, and you did that, and wow, you did that. And just checking the list and celebrating myself quietly in my room. It's not even a party. It's just a wow, I did that. Is
Did
helping
that.
me
Hmm.
to move on, you know, as a result of effing with you and
That's
you.
what's on me.
And
Yep.
now as a result of effing with me, right?
Mhm.
Because, you know, I am that I am who I believe I am, right? They always say, oh, she is
That's
exactly who
exactly
she,
what she
yes,
said she is.
I am exact. When I walked away from, I retired early and walked away from my job, then I'm like, this is the test. Like, if you are who you think you are, who you say you are, then you can't fail. You can't. So
Amen to that. Well, let me
Yeah.
ask you guys this. How important is mentorship or just being surrounded by other people to your mindset in getting out of the way of that having that imposter syndrome?
I think
it's
that's the
everything.
caveat. Yeah, I think that's the caveat to this whole conversation, right? You
Mhm.
absolutely have to have mentors. You absolutely had I was a doer and I'm still a doer. I was about to say that's the only difference between I'll run towards a thing before I even have the plan for the whole plan. I'm like, I'll figure it out on the way. And
I love
sometimes
that. I do that too.
sometimes it
Shoes ain't all the
gets
way
me in
tied.
trouble. Man, listen, sometimes because I think women in general spend too much time thinking. We think too long and hard. It's like men don't
Oh,
do
you
that. What
on
I
point.
notice is that men do. They just be going. And I like that. And they don't have like all of these like hang-ups about if they're good enough or whatever. We did a show yesterday about women negotiating or just accepting jobs without negotiating. And it was like 69% of women were just accepting positions without a negotiation at all. Men don't do that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So anyway, I just so you said if I hadn't had mentors and God just like for me, God sent the best mentors. It'd be like I would be sitting down with Dr. Boyce, or I remember Dr. Boyce had introduced me to Minister Farrakhan, and I was sitting with him, and he was like, "I don't know
Praise
what
him.
you gonna do in life, but whatever you gonna do, you gonna do it, cause you are bomb." I was. He didn't say it like that, cause y'all know Minister don't talk like that, but to me, it just confirmed all of the things, and just growing up, it's just like I always get sent the right people, and I don't know if I'm attracting the right people. I'm attracting. So what are you attracting? Are you attracting the right people?
Right.
Are you attracting the right, that's been the
I
gift. I attracted Constance. I
right.
attracted Constance.
I
Amen.
was speaking to someone just yesterday. She was asking me about the Net 7, and I was just like, regardless of the trainings and all of those things, which are amazing, uh, it's the motivation, the encouragement. There's no one in the group that's like, girl, that's done. Or, there's things like, oh, I know someone who does that. Or, oh, I've thought about that too. Or, just all that encouraging and motivation is so uplifting, right? So I feel like I could fly when as a result of effing with the women of Net 7, right? Like, there's nothing I can't do if I want to do it. That's the whole key. If it's something that I want to do, I feel supported. And I definitely need that mentorship. I think that is very valuable, right? The friendships and the coaching, just athlete at heart. So that too, right? Just coaching. You don't have to have all the answers, but you know, being able to say to somebody, well, you can do this if this is what you want to do, or you got this. Just play your game, right? Just do your craft, your gift, your whatever it is, right? Just do you. And someone always there in your corner, whether it's your mentor, your coach, your partner, your friendship, whatever, is uplifting. I think we all need that. I'm big on that, right? I'm the encourager. So I think that's beautiful.
I've definitely had my fair share of coaches and mentors and training, but I think that was it wasn't until I started getting coaching and mentorships was when my
Mhm.
business elevated. And
Yeah.
so, for me, it's just like I'm paying it forward to the people that I coach. And so, and the satisfaction for me is being able to see the results of the people that are like, increasing their businesses or adding an extra stream, or now they're speaking, they're just doing things that they haven't done before. And so that's great, right? But the secret sauce to what we have inside the Net 7 is the relationships, is the Black women who ain't saying, girl, that's stupid. No, they're saying, oh no, you know what? Here's what I would do. Or, if I was your customer, I would try this, or have you thought about that? Because everybody is on the same path to try to do the same things in different ways. Everybody's just trying to get there. Everybody's trying to feed their family. Everybody's trying to create a legacy, to build their communities, all of that. And so that's the thing that I love about the Net 7. Real quick, we are expanding the Net 7 Nation. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
Yes, watch this. There's nothing like being around women who see you, who support you, and who genuinely want to see you win. This is what Net 7 is all about. We celebrate each other, we build each other, we rise together. We're not just creating connections, we are creating legacy through wealth, through healing, through purpose, through real sisterhood. This is the nation. This is the movement. This is Net 7.
I see you
So,
making these commercials, Constance.
hey,
I
Jahari said she hates that song. I love
was
it.
like, I said, okay, it feels like we are the world. We are
We
the
are
world. We are
the
the
we are
nation.
the nation.
I can't
We're
We
stand
like,
it. If
are
you
the
don't drop a
nation.
beat, I need some beat. I need some drums. Like that is just
Wow.
too.
well,
It's
I'm not
too.
putting
I am.
E40. I'm not putting E40
Listen, be
on that
legit
video.
and
Yes,
E40. Yes.
we're not doing
Hmm.
that. We're not doing
My
that.
version of it, it has Little Kim.
Yeah,
Ladies'
see.
night. Ladies' night.
But the dope thing, we are going to be in all of these different cities. So we're going from, where we have our Net 7 Collective, which is our inner circle. Now we're in cities all across the US. And we have hundreds of people who are already interested. So if you are a Black woman in any location, let us know. Tap in. We have people from across in Europe. We have South Africa, or no, we have West Africa. From Dallas to Baltimore to California to
To
Atlanta.
Stockton. Don't hate on my city. To Stockton.
Yeah, okay. All the cities, not all the cities, but we're represented in a lot of different locations. So if you want to make an impact on your community and you want to get with some women, Sophia says she is ready. If you want to get to, the website is almost done, so we're almost ready and we're going to roll it out really soon. But if you know a Black woman who wants to do some things on the grassroots level, who wants to be around like-minded women, who wants to pour into each other, who wants to effectuate change in her community, go to net7nation.com, and we are going to we're gonna give you the information on that, and it's gonna be beautiful. We're gonna be rolling out in a couple of weeks, but go ahead and put your information in the interest list. Okay.
Visionary, 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 visionary. Can I ask
Amen.
you a question? Can I ask you a question, visionary?
Of course.
When it comes to you talked about mentors, like how do you know how to how do you know who to approach as a mentor? Like what is your strategy for that? Like were you watching certain people and saying like I want to be coached by them, or how were you led to each mentor?
Yeah, you watch. You watch.
You watch.
You pray.
Yeah.
You watch. So their core values need to align with yours. They have to have focus and direction in the same way that you do. And so you watch them and you see them and they're speaking the language and they're inspiring you and they're doing what you want to do and they could show you the path to get there. Absolutely. So I would
That's
watch.
definitely how I picked my coach.
Yeah.
I watched her. I watched her build and rebuild, and I watched her speak life into so many people, regardless if she knew that's what she was doing. So that's how I picked my coach.
Yeah. It took me 2 years. I reached out. I met Les Brown once and I was like, oh, I want to work with him. And I reached out to Les Brown for 2 years before he called me.
He didn't call you?
He called me. He called me and I was at work. I was working on Big Brother and he called me and I missed the call. And it took 2 years for him to call me back because I texted. I used to send him I sent him messages for 2 years before
this
he called me
lady
back
is so ambitious.
He was like, this is Les Brown, girl. What do you want? I said,
man,
I've been waiting on you to call me.
This lady is so freaking ambitious. Everybody else just wants somebody at their job. Let me get the person who's a supervisor and mentor. This woman, she picks Les Brown. This you see how ambitious her ass is? She don't just pick regular people. This woman picks Les Brown to mentor her. I mean, come on.
I was like, I want you to mentor me. He was like, okay.
But do you hear? I need you guys to understand that the reason why she is where she is because there's a level of resilience that most of us don't have. We don't possess. So think about it. You at Source, you sent them chocolates. You bugged them. Masterpiece said, when you gonna be in LA? You said in June you was there. Like, you don't do that. People sit and then they wonder why where it is. So, girl, kudos, salute. Like,
fearless.
I wouldn't think to call Les Brown. I mean, I know Les Brown too, but I wouldn't think to call him and say, hey, for a year, would you mentor me? Like 2 years. That's very ambitious.
Definitely.
He was like, the next day, he was like, I'm going to be in Vegas tomorrow. Meet me in Vegas. What did I do? I drove to Vegas. And then
got your ass in
the
Vegas.
Rest is history.
He called me one day. He was coming to Sacramento and he said, hey, I'm going to come to your office. How many people can you get in the office to let me come speak? I was like, say less. This was like on a Sunday. Monday, we had maybe like 50, 75 people in the office. This is when my office was much, much smaller. But we crammed them people in there.
Love
$20,000. Y'all getting this man for free. I said $20,000. Y'all getting this man for free.
Come on.
Which was crazy. So we're going to get out of here. But I do want to tell you that I'm doing a free training on Friday, guys. It is called the Think, Build It, Monetize It. And this is for those people who have an idea, they have a business idea, and they want to figure out how they can go from this idea to manifestation. So take your idea and bring it to manifestation and then eventually to monetization. And I'm doing this for absolutely free. So if you have an idea, and here's the thing about being a business owner is, and I know with you, Jahari, and with you, Tiara, is that what we do is we look at problems, and then we try to figure out, well, what's the solution that I can offer to solve that problem, and what's the skill set that I have that I can help solve that problem. So that's kind of what I do with everything I do, with the Grow Your Money Club, with Net 7 Collective, with this training right here. I want to help close the wealth gap. And what I know to be true is that Black people are losing their jobs. 160,000 Black women lost their jobs in May.
Yep.
People need to pivot. People need to shift. And so I know a lot of people want to get into entrepreneurship, and they just don't know how. So I'm doing a free F to the REE training on Friday at this very same time. It's called Think. I mean, it's called Think. It's called it's called Think, Build, Monetize. And you go thinkbuildmonetize.com. You got to be registered because it's not going to be out for everybody to see, but you got to be registered if you want to partake in this training. Go to thinkbuildmonetize.com. All right, I'm gonna let us go because we got another podcast in about 45 minutes. Tiara, really quick, let me ask you a question, then you, Johari, but I'm gonna let you say it first. Your final thought, because I know you got to get out and prepare for our next podcast. But if you can go back and tell your younger self one truth about imposter syndrome, what would that one truth be?
Yeah, that it's not real. And it's not real. It's false. You deserve, you are worthy. Put your foot on the gas and don't take it off. Like, don't put it, just don't even think. I mean, you all have blessed me with words and just reminding myself, like, yeah, you know what, I was that girl. But I mean, I was functioning at the level, I feel like 50%. Imagine if I would have just kept putting my foot on the gas and believing the things that I want to do now, I could have done 20 years ago. But I was just like, but I don't deserve it. I don't know if I'm worthy. I'd have just did it. Just did it.
Girl, she said all gas, no brakes.
All gas, go. Don't think. Women think. I mean, I know black men even are really good about doing the thing. Like, they'll be like, I'm gonna do it. And they don't have, again, the hangups that I think women have. It's like, what does this mean? I gotta be a mom. I gotta be, like Johari said earlier, there's all these laundry list of things that women are expected to do. And I think we put ourselves on the back burner for it. But I don't think you should put yourself on the back burner. Sis, put yourself on the front burner and do the thing, whatever the thing is. We all gonna die. We ain't getting out of this thing like
That part.
alive. So the time that's being wasted now, we shouldn't waste it. I lost one of my very good sister friends this year, and it showed me that she didn't make it to 42. Her birthday is actually in 2 days. And I'm like, damn, she really didn't make it to her 43rd birthday. I just never imagined it, right? We had all these plans. And so you think you got time, but time is now. The present is now.
Look at Tiara. Somebody giving you your flowers right here. If you remember, I've been in the lab and I have
love
made
Natea.
the most amazing progress inspired by you. I'd love to tell you all about it when it's possible.
Oh, you gotta email me, Natea. You gotta email me. Constance, I'm gonna tell you, Natea, when we were in Miami, Natea was roaming around the pier, not afraid to come in because she thought there was no room. I said,
And you
Natea,
brought her
don't
in?
ever do that again.
What?
She flew all the way to Miami to come to the thing, and she thought there was no room at the conference. And I was so
Girl.
mad at her for that. I was like,
Did she?
you,
Oh my
huh?
God.
I
Oh my
know, I
God,
know. But yeah,
Natea.
email me so we can talk, Natea.
All gas, no brakes. That's
All
what
gas, no
Miss
break.
Black Hollywood said. All gas, no brakes. All right,
No
sis, go
break.
ahead and go because I know we got to get back on this
I
thing at
love
one.
y'all. I love y'all. I
Come
have to
back
come
at
back.
1 o'clock. We're gonna be back at 1.
Okay, bye.
All right, Johari, if you could tell your younger self one thing about imposter syndrome, what would that be? One thing.
You can't be an imposter if you're being yourself. If you're being true to yourself, if you like it, if you want it, if it tastes good to you, if it smells good to you, if it makes you feel a kind of way, just there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have you don't have to be like anyone else. That's huge. I was very different, and you don't have to be like anyone else. And I found myself shrinking over the years with all the titles, right? To be a good mom, to be a good employee, to how do you become a boss, like all these things, to be a good partner. And so that's why I wrote my journal to help me
Show us your
remember.
journal. Show us your journal. Net 7. What? She got her new journal out. You guys. Okay, so tell us about your journal.
Nice to meet me. It's a daily journey back to self, right? So there are affirmations, there are things to help you remember yourself, but there's something in here called More Than a Professional, and it goes through affirmations that you have to go through when you're in the working space. Like, I can love what I do, or I can hate what I do, but it's what I do. It's not who I am, right? Because those titles are wonderful, but they come with a lot of expectations and right and wrong ways. You know what I'm saying? The reason why you are able to hold those titles are because of who you are. And I had to remind myself of that. And so I wrote a journal to help women remind themselves, you're more than just a mother. You're a mother because of the woman you are. And reminding myself that who I am is not fake. Nothing fake about me, like, ever. So that's what I would tell myself.
Bought it. I'm sorry. I thought I bought it, but I bought it. Yes.
Well, I'm glad, because
I need that journal. And thank you, Miss Jahari, for your positive words of encouragement. I love that, Jahari. Look at you over there being an inspiration to the masses. I love it. Right. Good job.
Y'all be nice. Y'all be nice out there, though. I'm confident with the work because I'm confident in myself, and that's just what it is.
You are not an imposter. You are yourself. I love that, Jahari, because you know what? Let me tell you something. Imposter syndrome, it does not mean that you're not qualified, you guys. It means that you're doing something that your ancestors could only dream of. The truth is, you are not an imposter. You are the evidence. You are the proof that healing is happening. You are the proof that generational ceilings are being shattered. You are the proof that we no longer have to choose between humility and greatness. You know, we can be both. We can be both. So the next time that voice of imposterness creeps into you, tell it, I belong here. I work for this. And most of all, I prayed for this, and I am not shrinking no more, because this world does not need a watered down version of you. It needs your whole you. It needs you to be bold. It needs you to be brilliant. It needs you to be walking in your divine assignment. The world misses out when you shrink yourself. So stop it right now. All right.
All right. Lovely JR said, where can we get the journal? It's on Amazon.
I just got it. I just searched for her name, Jahari Williams. I searched for her name, Jahari Williams, on Amazon. And oh, by the way, if you are not a part of the Grow Your Money Club, you need to be a part of the Grow Your Money Club comprehensive training, a 12-month training that'll take you through from being an employee onto an investor, to where you're working for your money, to where you can get to a place where your money's working for you. That's what everybody wants. It's part of the cash flow quadrant that Robert Kiyosaki talks about. And so I take you through that journey. If you are a black woman, or you know a black woman, I am coaching black women in the Net 7 Inner Circle, the collective. And so if you know a black woman, or you are a black woman, tell them to holler at me. Have them book an appointment. They go to net7bbs.com or go to bookwithconstance.com, and we can schedule an appointment. And we can sit down and see if you would be a good fit, if it'll be mutually exclusively beneficial. And if it's not, maybe that's not a good fit for you. Maybe the Net 7 Nation is a good fit for you, to where you can work with the ladies on the grassroots level. You'll be working inside the nation, but not necessarily with me coaching you. And that's okay too, because you'll get support from the entire community. So I'm excited to what we're doing. I don't think, Jahari, and this is why I don't have imposter syndrome. We are making history. We are making impact, and we are going to change the world. We're going to change. We're going to shift the trajectory of the Black race in America. And I'm excited about it. And if you want to be a part of it, go on and hit us up. So go to net7nation.com, or if you want to talk to me, go to bookwithconstance.com. As always, we're going to see you tomorrow. We're going to be on some gossip shit tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. We love you for real in real life.